like to welcome Dr. Drake, my lovely wife Melissa, our son Mitchell, and our daughter Gracelyn, our good friends and neighbors Stephanie and Martin. I've decided for the topic of my speech to be something about me that most who know me are aware of. And with my demeanor and background, they're surprised to find out that I actually have a great fear of heights, or had a great fear of heights. And I feel this fear was generated when I was in the military. Many years ago, I was a soldier, and we were tasked with a mission to fly from Denver, from Briggs Army Airfield, down to White Sands Missile Base. And what we were doing, we were loading all our equipment and vehicles onto these C-141 Starlifters that are a big jet, forward prop, with a ramp. And it has web seating on both sides for the soldiers to sit on, and with the vehicles in the middle. So the idea was to fly down there, airdrop these vehicles and supplies, and then we would land and get off. So to me, as a young soldier, this sounded like a great time, great fun, and I was very excited to go. So when they lined us up to get on the jet, we marched up on there, and when they stopped, I was on the end seat, like an aisle seat at the very end by the ramp. I thought this was a good spot to be in. So if you can visualize this, we had trucks and jeeps in the middle on this platform with two rows of soldiers in this web seating made out of like backpack straps that we sat in. So this was kind of an exciting time for a young soldier, so I was really keyed up about this. So it's very loud on there, so what we did is we put our earplugs in and we tried to contain our excitement while we took off and flew down to White Sands Missile Base. So it was very loud in there, so we had our earplugs on, and by the time we got there it was dark. So we were just sitting there, and then all of a sudden this light comes on, and it's pitch black in there, by the way, and the ramp goes down. So in rushes all this noise and this wind, and that was enough to wake you up. With the ramp down, you know, here comes steel pods, helmets, M16s were sliding down the deck, kids were throwing up, calling their mother. It was a pretty intense time. And I'm sitting there with a white knuckle on this strap holding on, looking down at the lights twinkling, and it was pretty exciting. So they started offloading these vehicles. So every time one would hit the ramp, the jet would start yawing back and forth. And each time one came off, the jet was lighter, so it would make more of a rocky motion. By the time that last vehicle got off there, most of the guys on the jet were sick. We were all scared to death. I mean, guys were hollering for their mother and praying out loud. It was pretty intense. And this was the whole idea for the Air Force, to scare us to death. And these crew chiefs are walking around laughing at us, you know, and I'm thinking, man, this is scary. So that's where I feel I derive my fear of heights from, was that experience when I was in the military. And to this day, I still have trouble getting in an elevator in closed spaces. But I was talking to my wife, one way to overcome this, I was in a program with Scouts, with Boy Scouts of America, and it's called Wood Badge. And that's supposedly the PhD of scouting. You get that training and you've reached the pinnacle. And one of the programs in there was a self-improvement program. So I decided my self-improvement program was going to be to overcome my fear of heights. I was going to be certified in rappelling and rock climbing. And I went through the course, and it was quite an experience. We started out rappelling off of the 60-foot tower at Boxwell Reservation, and that was scary enough in itself. So I went down the first time with white knuckle grip, leaving my fingerprints in the rope. And eventually, after several times down the tower, I was building my confidence back, because there was no way you could fall. They had a belay man down below. So even if you let go of the rope, he wasn't going to fall. He had control of it. So we did that on one Saturday. We went down and did that on the tower. And then the following weekend, we went to Stone Door in southern Tennessee. There's a very beautiful park and reserve down there with these huge cliffs in there. So when I got there, we went through all the education and safety course and so forth. So we went out to do the rappelling. And the first one I went to had 3 sites to choose from. So there was 160 foot. So the instructor said, Mitch, clip on and go down and look at that. So I clipped on, I held up. I eased that over and looked down, and I was looking at the tops of trees that were probably 50 or 60 feet tall, and I was probably another 100 feet above them. I said, I'm not going with this. So I went down to the next one. It was about 80 feet, and that was much more my liking. So I went over that a couple times and really got comfortable with it. I think that really helped me with my fear of heights. So in conclusion, I want to tell you that through my own experiences, unless you face your fears and are able to overcome them within reason, you'll never grow and reach your full potential. So I stress to you, get out there and conquer the world and do the best you can. Or as my children tell me, Dad, YOLO. You only live once. What's the time?
Showing everyone.
Say hello, everybody. Hi, Dr. Drake.